Today we celebrate the Assumption. We celebrate, you notice. Unless our faith is to remain inside the church building, we have to ask ourselves, well, the rest of today, how will I celebrate the Assumption? Or is it just one of those things that happens in a church building and life goes on with its own rhythm, its own celebrations, its own parties? So is it all make-believe? Is it routine? What we do on Sundays, and it stays what we do on Sundays. So let's see what it might mean to celebrate that Mary is in heaven, body and soul, which first of all is extraordinary and unique, which ought to be a source of joy, that God is able to do even that. Why body and soul in heaven? Think that Jesus' only link with us biologically is Mary. Just think of that. Jesus had no biological father. Jesus had no wife to become one flesh with. Jesus had no children. Jesus had no brothers and sisters. His only biological link with us is Mary. Already we begin to see how extraordinary this action of God and the freedom of Mary, full of grace, is. Why then body and soul in heaven? Well, because apart from Jesus, no one else has been resurrected yet. Again, something extraordinary. Or did it just glide past us? If you asked, I imagine, even Catholics, what do you hope for after death? Well, we might say, I hope to go to heaven. I hope that my soul will go to heaven. Well, that's not the Catholic faith. Again, something just slides past us again. Now, why isn't it the Catholic faith that the center of our hope is not that our soul will be in heaven? Because we're not just souls. We are persons, embodied souls. Angels are totally spiritual. We are not. So if the center of our faith was that our souls will be in heaven, well, we wouldn't be there. Because as St. Thomas Aquinas said firmly, my soul is not me. My soul is not me. So to be a soul in heaven, full stop, wouldn't be you. Because each of us is an embodied soul. And that's why the center of our faith is the resurrection of the body. Because then we will be persons, fully able to enjoy being with God and with each other. And so it was fitting for Mary that she should be resurrected, ending her days on earth with her resurrection, body and soul, in heaven. And this truth of our faith, we'll say it in the Creed in a minute, I believe in the resurrection of the dead. Well, what are the implications of that? Or is it again something that just slides past us, something we mutter in church when we get on with life? Well, we wouldn't live in the same way once we see the implications of a resurrection, body and soul, the whole person, to enjoy God and each other. Because it means that even now, before we die, we would never despise or harm either the bodiliness or the spiritual nature of human beings. We wouldn't disfigure either bodies or souls, because that's what the human person is and will be. But of course, if deep down we think we're really a soul, and that's what'll go to heaven, and that's it, then of course we'll despise and trivialize the body. Why not? Just something we have for 70, 80 years, measured against eternity. But it isn't. It's for eternity, our being bodily. And that matters now, today, tomorrow. It's how we regard each other, treat each other, especially the most vulnerable. It's a great feast today. It should fill our day. This wonder how Mary, full of grace, is already body and soul in heaven. And that's our hope.